just go down to a little bit of basics. I want everybody to just stand the way they are. Feel what your legs are doing, what your body's doing. And the next thing I want you to do is bend your knees. Go back up. Bend your knees. The next time you go, we're going to come up here. The next time you go down, I want you to feel what happens to the amount of pressure, if you will, down to the lower parts of your legs. Right now, everything is sort of just nice, stretched and rigid, and you're just standing on sticks. And you don't get the feeling, maybe as much as you will, that you're touching the ground. But when you drop down, what happens? You get more of an attention in your mind that my feet are in contact, and I am, one, becoming more stable, but the pressure is on my feet, and I become more aware of your feet. That's why we want you in Tai Chi to not be straight-legged and watch Lucille and stay there. And when you're ready to go, then you're ready. And only when you finally do this, you come down. When you're standing in normal Tai Chi posture, hopefully you learn just a little looseness in the knee, not locked. The knees are not locked. That already gives you a feeling of contact to the ground. And although, another thing added to that, although we do a lot of moving of the tips or our ankles, and we're doing some of this, we do some of this, almost invariably, the back foot never does this. Okay? From a martial arts standpoint, you're going to be out of balance. And where is the weight? The weight is on this foot. And your opponent grabs you and says, come along. You're just going to keep going. Versus, if both feet are on the ground and the guy grabs you, and you're down here, if you sit down even more, it's going to take a lot more work for him to move you. By the same token, if you're walking along and you say, I'm going to go and tiptoe here in your everyday work, because I'm just going to grab one of these things. Nobody's going to pull you, but gravity is going to take you and you're going to fall. Okay? So that's another one. And the third thing, I sort of make it a joke, but in Tai Chi, no parts of your body is unemployed. In a given movement, all of them are employed. And related to that, when you first begin, the term is brush knee. But what do you see? You see this, this, this. What happened to the brush knee? The brush knee sort of is an afterthought, or not even a thought at all, because you know that you have to do this, and the hand is dangled here. So you don't want to do that. From here, step brush knee. In fact, this helps you, because it says, if this is going this way, what does the other part of the body have to do? Stay this way? No. They all help you in concert. And the function from a martial arts standpoint is you've got to protect yourself before you get access to your opponent. Protect yourself. Brush whatever he's coming toward you. Brush it away. And meanwhile, you're getting your offense into position. Brush the knee, see? Brush the knee, continue to brush the knee, and you strike out, okay? The movement here, some people, when it comes to getting yourself cocked up, this hand is staying here. Oh, I've got to get it back up here. Bring it. It's moving, everybody's moving. Otherwise, what happens is, oh yeah, I got to get back down here. So think about that. No part of your body is, quote, unemployed when you're performing an act. And it's your job to figure out, how do I address the activity which seems less obvious? Because it's already caught your eye to do this or to do this. If you're warding off, it's not just warding off. Two hands are working. Okay? This hand is potentially blocking, but it's getting into position. So I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to around his arm, and I'm going to grab him. So push him away so he's away from you, and you can see what's going on over here. But you're also, if he happens to be wanting to punch you, kick you, you can practice this. And then you've got him where you want him. Well, you want him. You've pushed him away, but he hasn't gone away far enough to stay out of trouble. Then you're in contact, and you know different parts of his body, and it just happens maybe one of his arms are like that. So you switch around, grab the arm right here, and you come forward and you grab his wrist and you pull him down. You don't just pull down this way, you turn. Just imagine what you're doing to the guy's elbow. It's going to be stretched out this way, and you're going to turn him because you're turning him. Ward off. Turn. See how my hand goes? Although she tells you just to do this. That's a stylized. But if you say you're really going to use it for action, ward off, grab, turn. This is coming down, and this is doing, I'm sorry, not this way, it's turning this way. That will turn the joint, straighten your elbow, and it doesn't bend too well that way. But those are the applications. But remember, at this stage, you know what the obvious one part of the movement that you see, and you're going to address that. It's almost automatic. Look for the portion that's not so obvious. The brush knee or ward off, okay? Stay flat on your feet, bend your knees.
It's important to do the movements correctly, and what can help is that you create images in your mind as to what you're doing, and that will come over time. But rather than be oblivious to where the movement comes from, since all of Tai Chi is based on martial arts, but now turned into a meditative dance routine. So I guess what Ken's trying to say is that if you can have an ideal world, you will not just look only at that forward hand, but you will also look at the hand or the whole body as to what each limb or thing is doing simultaneously to get that blow out or to get that force out. So we talk about, in a general way, opposites attract, yin and yang. So one comes out, one comes in. And there are many, many ways of approaching a discipline through martial arts, through me, and then yet we can decorate it a little bit more and add more stuff to it. We could also say that the other hand is a counterbalance hand, and what is it doing here? It's not going to sleep, like he says. We didn't cover that. Lots of people will then look, like he says, at the outward hand, and then they forget about this guy. But this is the guy that keeps you erect and keeps you in good form, keeps you in the best optimal position.